All right, Football Manager, I would really love some kind of explanation as to why we are playing the way that we are. 3 consecutive matches in Serie A, 3 consecutive losses. We went down 3-0 once again in this one before Arisvaldo Pereira got one back. Then, even though we had a nice mix of starters and reserves as we rotated the squad in the Copa Libertadores against the strongest on the road in Bolivia, we managed to put 6 on the board and keep a clean sheet. Please, I beg you, make it make sense. So we are going to make absolutely 0 changes to the starting lineup as we take on Vitória, who are currently in 4th place in Serie A, in the first leg of the 3rd round of the Copa do Brasil. So it's going to be Pedro Montavani in goal, Ivanzinho, Igor, Canella, and Zorzanon on that back line. Sousa Silva still out with an injury. JP, I trust you not. Eric, Beto, and Zhao in the midfield. We did get a piece of good news. Edson Jose is available and he is on the bench for this match. We do not want to rush him back. It's going to be Manuel Rodriguez on the left side, Caio Henrique on the right, Gabriel Rosera getting the start at striker. And don't get me wrong, this is not in any way a slight against a player like Arisvaldo Pereira. He already has a dozen goals on the season. He is our primary striker. We just did not want to shuffle the deck at all in this match. We want to put the best foot forward against Vitória, the same one that has led us to the top of the table in the Copa Libertadores. We are going to be challenging Colo-Colo at home in the second match in this episode to see who is going to actually win the group. Hopefully it is us. At this point, all we need is a win or a draw, and we will win Group E in the Copa Libertadores, but that's coming up later. Caio Henrique getting past this man, still dribbling it, putting a shot in, and Florentine able to handle that pretty easily. Not the greatest of looks, in my personal opinion, by Caio Henrique, although he does remain one of the best players in Serie A. I am actually very worried about us in this match, simply because it always seems to be that we do not play well in these cup competitions. We have not had a lot of success in the Copa do Brasil. We have not had a lot of success in the Sao Paulo State Championship once we get into that quarterfinal playoff. Ball in the middle, Zhao quickly to Beto, over the top, Caio Henrique dropping it down, Gabriel Rosera poking it home with his left foot, but the flag has been raised. They're going to say that Caio Henrique, or actually in this case it was Gabriel Rosera, was offside after mistiming his run, but a very good initial effort, and that is the kind of ball that we want to see. That is the kind of play that we absolutely need to see. Caio Henrique dumping it all the way back to his goalkeeper, so Canella looking to get it restarted, gets it back from Igor, will hold up play for a moment before playing it out wide to Zorzanon, sending it ahead, can't get it past Salmini, but Zhao winning it back. Gabriel Rosera up the middle, finds Manuel Rodriguez, who puts it home inside the post, beating Florentine for a 1-0 Ituano lead. The Vitória defensive line kind of really did part like the Red Sea there for us, and to see us actually winning a match against Serie A competition makes me feel pretty good, although there is still a lot of football to play as we close in on the hour mark. We have held Vitória to just a single shot on goal. They did manage to get it on target on Pedro Montavani, but obviously he made the save. Manuel Rodriguez having a pretty good match. Gabriel Rosera playing pretty well, even though he was called offside. It was a fantastic effort to get the ball past the goalkeeper, so at least we are continuing to push forward, and at least we are continuing to make that effort, and hopefully we will be able to push it forward off of this. No, we're not going to get a chance because that's the end of the first half. We end the first 45 leading by a score of 1-0. Now, Vitória did take the lead in possession during that first half, which, I mean, obviously I'd like to see us win that possession battle, but as long as we keep it close, and as long as we are winning where it counts, which is on the scoreboard, then I am going to be very, very happy. Cruzeiro winning over ABC on the road by a score of 2-1 in another score in the Copa do Brasil. We are, if we win this, I think this is going to be the furthest we, Ituano, in this save, have gotten in this competition. Our participation has been kind of hit or miss. I really can't quite tell when we're going to be in and when we're not, because we were not in this competition last year after we won Serie B. Igor terrible clearance coming to Leonardo Brazil, who puts it past Montavani, and less than 60 minutes in, we're tied at 1. I mean, a good defensive play, but just a terrible clearance, and they were able to get it back in because of a very poorly placed pass in the middle third. Zhao playing it across, Ivan Zinho putting it into space on that left wing for Manuel Rodriguez. Cuts inside one man, tries to get around another, drops it. Ivan Zinho's got it. Moves it out to Eric. Beto wide to Zorzanon. Cutting it deep. Zorzanon into the middle. Gabriel Rosera's header is denied by Florentin, and it is going to go out for an Ituano corner that we are not going to get to see. Gabriel Rosera making a fantastic effort on that one. We're going to have some changes coming up as we tick down to the 20-minute mark remaining, and Edson Jose is going to come back in. We have missed you, son. Osvaldo Pereira also making his way in for Gabriel Rosera, who has had a nice game. He just could not put it home when we really needed him to give us that 2-1 lead. Ivan Zinho kind of tucking in on that left side, playing it long up the left wing. He's got Manuel Rodriguez around the edge of the box. Pereira is there. A heavy touch, though, is overtaken by Edu. Florentin looks to clear it only as far as Beto. Pereira with a howler from outside the box to give us the 2-1 lead. And really, this whole play was made by Beto, putting it right in the path of Pereira. Great first touch to get around the defender, past Florentin, and we have once again retaken the lead in this contest. And this is very important because it is a two-legged affair, this third round of the Copa do Brasil. So taking a lead into Vitória, if we can make it a 2-goal lead, I will feel even better, especially because we just have not performed well against Serie A competition as of late. Hopefully, maybe this means our fortunes are turning around. Rodriguez around the side. He's got Beto around the left side of the box. Ivan Zinho back for Beto. Turns, fires, picks out the top corner. And it's Ituano 3, Vitória 1. Just getting some fresh legs out there for the final 7-8 minutes or so. Paulo Alexandre is going to come in. Beto is going to slot down and replace Eric at the defensive midfield. Luis Roberto has come in. Caio Henrique not having the greatest of matches, and he could use some rest every once in a while. Ball headed forward. Tarcisio out wide. Andre Ricard looking for Don, edge of the box, carrying it a little bit deep, puts it into the middle, finds Iago, who finds the back of the net, and it is 3-2. We still find ourselves every once in a while deep in these matches getting a beat over the top. So we're going to go lower with we'll keep the mid block. We're going to go lower with our defensive line. Hopefully it works, and it apparently did in the very short amount of time that it happened. 50% possession on either side, but we took it where it counted on the scoreboard. 3-2, and we move on about a month or so from now against Vitória in the second leg. That will come up in the future. And I was so getting ready to say, most importantly, though, we are almost back to full strength now that Edson Jose is here. And then a moderate calf strain suffered in training by Pedro Montavani means he's going to be out the next 6 to 7 weeks. So it is going to be Jonathan that we are relying on to win the group against Colo-Colo. So Jonathan in goal is just one of a few changes against Colo-Colo as we look to wrap up at home the win in Group E of the Copa Libertadores. Ivan Zinho, Igor Canella, and Zorzanon are going to remain our back four. Beto is going to drop back to the holding midfield position. Zhao is going to swap on over to the spot that he just vacated. Edson Jose is in for his first start in quite some time. And Gabriel Rosera is once again returning to the bench. Osvaldo Pereira back in to lead the line. Super important that we take advantage of our home field here. A win or a draw. And Ituano in our first appearance ever, I believe, in the Copa Libertadores. Well, we are going to make it out of the group stage as Group E champions. Hopefully we can hang on. We're doing it with a backup goalkeeper, but our starting right central midfielder is back in. So hopefully that's going to be a nice little trade-off. We'll get some offense out of Edson Jose, just like we used to. and everything will be right with the world. And even though Colo-Colo right now dominating in possession, we have the only 4 shots of the match. Unfortunately, we've only gotten 1 of them so far on target. Make that 1 out of 5 and 1 out of 6, and we need to do better. Hopefully we can win the ball back as it's bandied about in the middle third. Alfaro Guzman giving it back to Alfaro. Guzman poking it forward, looking for Tapia. Intercepted, though, by Igor. Zhao turns, looks for Caio Enrique. Not enough weight on that pass, so here comes Colo-Colo the other way again. Alarcon over the top. Uratia, he was offside. That flag has got to go up. He was definitely in a position he should not have been in. Colo-Colo temporarily taking a 1-0 lead, but the goal has been disallowed. Even someone with my crappy eyesight knew that there was absolutely no way that that one was onside, but it did give us a little bit of a scare. We still are not hitting the target, now 1 out of 9. We're getting the shots off. We are just not taking very good opportunities, but we are at least on the other side denying Colo-Colo theirs just a single shot on goal. They have not yet hit the target. Canella in control at the edge of the final third. Beto finds Edson Jose carrying it into the box. He's got it deep and wide before dropping it back to Zorzanon. Turning it to Beto. Gets to Zhao. Quickly, Manuel Rodriguez. A quick turn and another missed shot off target. A perfect opportunity for us to take a 1-0 lead in the last couple of moments of this first half. And we were sadly denied that opportunity. But still, as long as we keep Colo-Colo off of the board, I am going to be very happy with this performance. Let's put in a defensive showing if we're not going to make an offensive one. Zorzanon in control, drops it back to Canella. This is a real highlight to kick off the second half of this match. Hopefully we maintain possession. Ivanzinho, Zhao, Manuel Rodriguez tries to put it through. It is cut off, played forward. Canella heads it to Caio Henrique, laying it out wide. Zorzanon's got 2 men on him, but he'll find Beto the outlet into the middle. Ivanzinho, Zhao quickly forward, finding Rodriguez, splitting the defense, taken away by Akaveke. And Mundaka for Colo-Colo now in control. We've played just 1 minute of this second half, and the highlight does continue. Colo-Colo now in control of the ball. Alfaro to the near side finds Guzman. Regiardo back out for Alfaro. Guzman forward for Tapia. He's got 3 men around him, but he gets it free to Regiardo. Across to Bargetto. Ahead, Alarcon. He's got a couple of runners. He's going to chip it over to the right side. Guzman's got it. Takes it deep. Back post. Finds Ivan Villegas. Urrutia. Urrutia onside this time. And Colo-Colo claims the 1-0 lead. I mean, I got to admit that is slightly disappointing because I feel like we played very well in the match up until that point. Just, again, not getting our shots on the goalkeeper. And that, my friends, has been the difference. Manuel Rodriguez, Zhao, playing it out wide to the right. Zorzanon looking for Caio Enrique, puts it into space. Enrique with options in the middle, drops it back instead outside the box. Zorzanon with a shot that will take a deflection, go out wide, and lead to an Ituano corner. Please let us see the corner. Football Manager, I swear. I think we would have had an opportunity to score on that corner if they just let us see the highlight. Ball played out to the far sideline. Caio Enrique around his man. Zorzanon looking back post. Finds nobody there but Alfaro. Looking to play it to his man at the center line. But Ivanzinho winning it back. Pereira. Edson Jose Rodriguez. And his shot again trickles wide outside that post. And we find ourselves still trailing 1-0 and only 2 shots on target out of the 14 that we have taken. So we are once again going to demand more from our team. And we are slowly but surely watching Group E slip away from us as Colo-Colo still holding on to that 1-0 lead. Laid short, Edson Jose plays it back out. Ivanzinho off of the free kick. Caio Enrique chipping it to the right wing. Canella in for Edson Jose. Back for Canella. Edson Jose moving it to his left. He's taken out. The whistle blows. Urrutia, the goal scorer for Colo-Colo, has been called for the foul in the box. VAR is going to check it, but they never overturn this. It is going to be a penalty. We're going to get a chance to equalize from the spot. Urrutia picking up a yellow card, but meanwhile Edson Jose still down on the ground, but he won this penalty that Igor is going to take. Now, Igor did make his last penalty against the strongest. Can he make it 2 in a row against Colo-Colo? And he can. Igor from the spot, 65 minutes in, and we are equal at 1. I kind of sort of really don't want to make any changes and upset the apple cart, but we probably do need to get some fresh legs on there somewhere. Do we take off Caio Henrique? Do we take off Manuel Rodriguez? Do we take off João? We are probably going to take off João, but only after this corner kick. 77 minutes on the clock. They go short. Menino leaves it to Abacache. Out wide, Guzman, back for Abacache. Jonathan makes the save. Mundaka picks up the rebound, but I think he was in an offside position when he did so. The question is, was he offside when the initial shot was taken? He was. The goal has been disallowed, and we are now going to make some adjustments. Pereira is nervous, so let's get Gabriel Rezera out there. João is going to be replaced by Paulo Alexandre. Eric coming in for Beto, and those are going to be the 3 changes that we are going to make at this time. Jonathan getting very lucky, and as you can see, he was very, very, very well offside, Mundaka, right there when that ball initially came in. In the end, it really was no doubt whatsoever. So let's once again demand more from our team. Even though, let's drop back to a more positive mentality from the attacking. Only a couple of minutes left. I think that all it's going to take is this draw. Meanwhile, Agropecuario Argentino and the strongest are tied at 1. The strongest, I don't think they won a single match. We managed a second consecutive draw against Colo-Colo. It took a penalty shot from Igor to do it, but I believe it was good enough for us to win Group E of the Copa Libertadores. On the overall table, we looked pretty good as well, with the 3rd best record in the competition, obviously tied with Colo-Colo, just behind Corinthians and Boca Juniors. Pretty successful so far in our first foray into CONMEBOL competition. The big question remains is, when do we start the group stage? Let me know in the comments below if we actually get to skip a stage like in Europe by winning the group, or how this is supposed to work. Either way, we are coming back for the second leg against Vitória in the Copa do Brasil on the road to see if we can move on to round number 4, and hopefully we will also get our first matchup in the knockout competitions of the Copa Libertadores. When that's going to happen, I don't know.